Okay, we're going to give it a few seconds here to let people hop on. Patsy's getting the pieces situated. And I know we had a short in between. It won't be like that for each one. That first book was a little bit tricky, so it takes a little longer, but for the rest of these, we'll have a little more time in between. So we'll give you some time here at the beginning to kind of get things punched out. One thing that I do when there's small lasers like this and die cuts, one thing that I do is I actually keep those little letters and stuff in your die cut so that you don't have to search for all the little pieces later. You can punch them out as you go. So all these little letters here. I think people are starting to jump on.
Okay.
Say hi. But one thing that I do with kits like this, these that have lots of little pieces and letters, I keep those in the actual die cut so that they're easy to find and punch out as you need them. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to sort through all those letters as we go. And I also want to remind everybody about the special that we are doing just for today for everybody. The inks, which we never, I don't know if we've ever put them on sale. Just for today, they are 10% off of the single inks. And the bundle deal that we have is the 2025 inks bundled with a case, an ink carrying case. You get $11 off of that bundle. So that's kind of a good deal if you want to stock up on the inks from last year. We have not very many of the 12 packs left, but we're doing a deal for the bundle deal, 25 or the 12 pack and the case from 2025, and you get $11 off. So there's a bundle deal on there too. So I know it's going to be a minute kind of punching things out for this kit. Patsy's getting hers ready, and we will go ahead and get started. And if you are just hopping on, one thing that I had suggested to everybody is maybe leave these little letters in your die cut so they're easy to punch out and find as you need them instead of sorting through all those little pieces. Okay, I think it's gonna let us do the video instead of vertical. Do it horizontal and fit more in the picture. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let me get this set up here. It'll take just a second. Okay. So you have a lot more space to work with there now, Mom.
Oh, good. You're my tech person today, because you know me. I don't even know how to turn a computer on, hardly.
Okay, I think you're set.
Okay, this one is so pretty. Our one of our gals, Jackie, designed this one. I think this was Jackie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let your dreams take flight. So let's just start by letting you know that this paper, it's called matte paper. It's kind of a subtle matte paper, but it's Rome if you want to. This is one of our newer paper lines, but it looks like this on the front, and this is what's called a doodle, a blue doodle paper when we say that into the instructions. But these will be our backgrounds, okay, for both pages. So we'll go ahead and trim off that little label on the bottom of those, and we'll go ahead and do that. And we can do that for both pieces. And while you have your trimmer out, don't put it away just yet. I want you to locate, oh, I hear another train. We'll give away a train prize first, and then we'll get into this. Okay, Elaine Beaudry. Hey, Elaine, I haven't seen you in a long time, honey. You just won a train prize. Good to hear from you. Well, that was a short one too. What the heck?
I know. I don't know.
They must have didn't have any employees today, so they just run train. Okay, so what we're looking for now, as we get started, is we have a 5.5 by 11 3/4 blue doodle paper, and that's what we're going to call this paper. And then we have a 3 1/4 by 10 red, 10.5, and 3 1/4 by 10.5 dark blue. So let's start with, and if you ever lose me on the direction, on the measurements, always in the top left corner, you'll see all the measurements for everything, even the ribbons, the twine, the paper measurements, and if it says follow the diagram, it'll tell you right there that there's a diagram in another part of the kit. So first of all, we're going to do the blue doodle paper that is 5.5 by 11 3/4. And there is a diagram for that one, so it lets us know that we need to find our diagram. Let me find mine here. And it's usually on half a sheet of paper. So here we go, right here. And what I would do to begin with is cut your 3 by 5 piece first, okay? Your paper is 5.5 inches wide, and what you need here is 3 by 5. I would cut out that piece first that's on the right. I would move over to the 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then do these pieces last on the left. So the very first piece I want to do is 3 by 5, and that means I'm going to cut it at 3. Do I need to move this over?
Nope, I'm just moving this up a little bit so it's fits in there a little more.
And being it's already 5 1/4 wide, we need to trim off 1/4 of an inch. Or 1/2 an inch, I guess it would be 1/2 an inch. So you want to end up with, the first piece will be 3 by 5. I'm going to set that aside. The next one I'm going to cut at 3 1/4. 3 1/4 wide. And it's 5 1/4. 5 1/4 long. Set that one aside. And then I'm going to cut another piece that's 3 by 5, and I'm going to cut through right through the little doodle pieces. I'm going to turn it to make sure you're going to trim it down to 5. And sometimes when I have little pieces like this that are really similar, I just take my pencil and jot on it, here's a 3 by 5, and that way later I'm going to do the same with the 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, and with the other 3 by 5. And just notice that some of these, the doodles are going up and down, and some of these are going this way, and that'll be kind of important. If you don't get it perfect, that doesn't even matter, but I'm just throwing that out there to begin with so you'll be aware of that. And then that very last piece is 2.5 by 5.5, and it's already 2.5 wide, and we want it to measure 5.5, and it does. So the only other thing that you need to do with this one is it shows a little half circle punched out of the top, and you can use a 1 inch, 2 inch, whatever size punch just to punch just a little half circle out of the top. You want to locate the center, because this will be a pocket on our. I just have a 1 inch punch right here, but a bigger one would work too. Okay, so we can set those pieces aside for the moment. And what we're going to do first, I'm going to give you a little bit of, another minute to get your papers all cut, just so we don't leave somebody behind here. Okay, so while you are finishing that up, you're going to keep in mind that you are looking for I'm missing one of my pieces here. I'm just missing a, it's right, it'll be in here. Do you want to find me this other little piece for my balloon? So you have 5 pieces that go behind your balloon. So let's go ahead and punch out, if you haven't already, that round dark blue balloon piece. And then you have several little pieces that go behind your balloon. We're going to build that in the very beginning. It would be a striped piece, the one on the left. I think so, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is what you're looking for. I know they're strange looking little pieces, but they're going to fit perfectly behind this part of your balloon. So you have this nice, pretty, colorful balloon to add to your page. So this, I'm going to add a little adhesive just to the very edge, and it will go behind, this tiny little piece goes behind the left side. And you want to position it so that you're, leave that little spot there's a little piece to the flower that it covers up. Don't put any adhesive on that for the moment, because we'll want to tuck in a flower behind that. Or you can just take your scissors and trim it out. I think I'll just do that.
Somebody said they don't have the orange pieces for the balloon. It comes out of this die cut. So it's these 2 pieces here. So if you have this die cut, this is the piece for the balloon.
Yeah, there's 2 coming out. It's kind of a coral colored piece with, has all your letters in it that says take flight in red.
And it might be flipped over on your table. So it'll
right.
look like this on the other side, kind of different colors. So
If you're seeing starfish, well, that's the wrong side. So that's what you're looking for, is a little die cut that looks like that. So that's going to go behind there. You know what? I'm going to add, we're going to put on these flowers first. This is the tricky part. I think we're going to do that to begin with. Then it'll save. So what you're going to look for, let's find all of our flower pieces, and let's just do that in the beginning here so we don't run into, and what I'm talking about are, looks like this. 2 of these have little die cuts that are separate, like this. Those will go on page 2. Okay. So what you're looking for are pieces that go behind page 1. Okay. And it's kind of tricky. It's a little bit deceiving. So you can see this piece right here, that is the piece that will go behind your flower. Right here, okay. And what I would suggest before you start gluing anything down, we will, some of the Powder Puff chalk inks, there's Rain Cloud, Fresh Cut Grass, Sunset, all those are perfect colors. Sunset is a really nice color for your flowers. I would go ahead and chalk up with, it also talks about Fresh Cut Grass. So the flower part, I'm going to add a little bit of the Sunset. Okay, like this. And then the part that you can see looks kind of like leaves.
Lisa, do you ink the flowers before they go down?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna ink the flowers before we put them down. I mean, you don't have to, but you will have white flowers. If you want some color to them, just go ahead and add some fresh cut grass to the leaves that you can see. Okay, it will look kind of like that. You don't have to get the whole thing, but just get the edges, and that way, and just know that you have this blue outline that's going to cover up some of it. So it helps to go in just a little ways with your ink. Some real soft color all the way in. So I'm going to put mine behind here so you can see kind of what it looks like. Okay. I might want a little bit more chalk on my flower pie part. And a little bit more green on the leaves. And a little white in the middle is fine because it looks like there's a little bit of light shining off of it. So a little adhesive. And I admit that this is a little tricky. It's lots of fine lines there. But take a little time and get in the spot that you want it. Okay, and then there's one more big one up here that is going to go in behind here. And be sure you turn it over to match it up so that you know you have the front or the back. You don't want to be chalking up the back. So here I'm going to add some color to the flower. And some green to the leaves. And sometimes when you want to get in the center, just do a little bit of sponging in, just press some color in. Okay, so this is going to go behind. Okay. So add a little bit of green, add a little bit of, I use the sunset, but you know there's lots of other fun springy colors that would work in there too. And you know what, while you're at it, let's just go ahead and chalk up these other white pieces. These are attached to the balloon. These little pieces go over the white, and they're freestanding here. I'm going to get all the green parts first here. A little scrap of paper, and I'm going to lay this out and see what happens when you just press some color into your, that works great too. So I press some color into this little flower, and then I'm chalking up the edges just a little bit more. That way you have an overall color. I'm going to do the same with this next one. Press some color in after you get your green on. Once you've pressed in a little bit of the light color, then chalk up the edges a little darker. This will get this out of the way. They're ready to glue on once we get to that point. So press some color in. Add a little bit more color on the edges. And then once you get that done, find your tiny little, these are so fragile, so tiny and so fragile, but match them up to your blue negatives. Okay, and then once you find where they belong, make sure you know where they're going before you start gluing, otherwise you might have one in the wrong spot. And just the tiniest bit of glue will hold these in place. Once you get it in a page protector, it's going to hold it pretty well. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue behind the center of the flower just to hold it in place for now. Okay, now we have all the flowers in their proper spot. Ready to glue on. So these two are already attached. Let's just set these aside for the moment. The other ones that are two of them will go on page 2 and one of them will end up going back on page, or two of them will go on page 2. There may be another one tucked in there somewhere. So once we get that done, then we can go ahead and add these. Works so much better. This isn't my kit that I designed. Jackie did this one, so I'm just not as in tune to it as I would be if it was the one I designed. So go ahead and add your pieces, your balloon pieces, behind the coordinating part on the balloon. So you start with a little tiny striped piece on the left, then a red piece, then a bigger striped piece, then another red piece. So just fit them all where they belong, and then add your glue and tuck it in behind your This is a little bit tedious, but it makes it so pretty once you get all these little pieces into there. And then the last one is the striped piece. So you have stripe, red, stripe, red, stripe. Okay, how cute is that? I think we have one more flower even beyond the ones that we just put together, but we'll wait till we get to the end and see here. So what we're going to do now we are going to use our background page. And just lay it out. We're not going to glue it down just yet because we want to build some photo mats. There's couple more cuts. I forgot about this part too. There's a couple more cuts that we need to do. And I was showing you these papers in the beginning. Basically, what you're going to end up doing is just cutting them in half at 5 1/4. So let's cut the red strip that is 3 1/4 by 10 1/2. Cut it in half so that you have two pieces that are 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And the same with this dark blue paper. You want to end up with two pieces that are 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. It's already 3 1/4 wide, so go ahead and cut those apart. So what you're looking for now is when we cut that blue doodle piece apart earlier, there were two pieces that were the same size, but the little doodles were going this way horizontal, some of them are going vertical. What you want to look for is the 3 1/4 by 5 1/4 white and a 3 by 5 blue doodle paper. And while we're looking for that, let's go ahead and locate our larger mat, which is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 white and a 4 by 6 die cut that's striped. So let's just lay those out for a minute. Choose your color that you would like to chalk these edges with. And I'm going to try Rain Cloud on this. It's a newer one, and I haven't used it a lot, but it's a really pretty dark gray. And that complements this light blue really well. So go ahead and try that, get that chalked up a little bit. And this piece is a 3x5, and again, the doodles are going vertical, okay? And if you don't get it right, you know what? It doesn't even matter. Your doodles will just go horizontal. I like this gray on here. I don't use gray very often, but that's really pretty on this soft blue. And this is called Rain Cloud. Then I'm going to add some color. You know what? And you can do the white also, but sometimes we leave the white so it's a stark white and it has a really pretty contrast. If it just has a tiny little 1/8 inch border like this, once you start chalking it, it changes everything, okay? It changes the whole color of the background. So you can leave it white, but if you choose to do a color, I would just do the bare edges of your white. But you can also change the background color of it too. So we have the striped piece, and you could do the fresh cut grass on this, but I don't think so. I think this sunset is a perfect match for this.
One person said, "Don't forget the basket." I think on the hot air balloon.
Oh, right, we got to.
There's a little basket.
Right.
Piece.
Thank you for that. Yes. I lost my basket. So what she's saying is we need to add this little, there's a tiny, tiny little die cut that is your basket. Mine is down in the stack somewhere. Tiny little piece that goes behind your,
And if you can't find it, you can cut a little piece from your scrap to go behind there too.
yeah.
Like you'll have a little extra.
Yeah, that means, okay, Delta. Hey, Delta. Good job. You just won a train prize. Delta just lives up the road from us.
And somebody asked if you could say the frame sizes again.
Yes,
I think.
on the mats. What you're looking for is a 3 1/4 by 5 1/4 white and a 3 by 5 blue doodle paper with the doodles going vertical, okay? So 3 by 5 and 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. Chalk those edges up, and I used the rain cloud on this. Glue that together. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just a little bit of adhesive. Okay, there's our first mat. And then choose your color that you want to chalk up the edges of your striped piece. This is a 4 by 6 striped piece, and you're matting it onto a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 white piece. And I just used a sunset on that. That's a really nice color for this real subtle stripe. And again, I'm going to find where this little basket piece comes from so you know where to find it. Okay, so here is your red piece. Again, you punched out little pieces for the balloon. There's lots of letters on it, but right here is this little tiny, tiny red basket piece, okay? That's what we didn't get on there. So that will go in behind.
So the stripe mat, she can't find the stripe mat. It came out of this die cut, and it might be flipped over on your table. It looks like that on the other side. It has like a map paper, but it did come out of this die cut.
Okay, looks like this. stripes on one side, and you probably took out some of your balloon pieces on this also. So it has matte paper on one side, stripes on the other, and that's your 4x6 mat. That is this one right here. So once you get these put together, you get your little balloon put together, your flowers in behind, your basket on. You can tuck in. These are going to tuck in here. So you want to get everything situated before, and just lay it out before you glue anything. So you can know that you're going to tuck some things down underneath. Something like this, anyway. And it looks like this corner is tucked up underneath the word dreams a little bit. So lay it out and then just carefully add some adhesive in behind and get everything glued in place. And then you use a couple of your flowers. I think we're still needing one more flower, but one will tuck in here, and one of them will go here, and then the last two will go on page 2. We're not going to finish the letters out right now. Just know that you have some red letters. Your background, your very background is blue letters, and then you also have a set of white letters. So 3 layers of letters. Those will take you a little bit of time, and we can do those at the very end. So go ahead and work on that until you get everything in its right place, and then that means page 1 is done, except for your red and white letters. So we can set this one aside. And let's get out our other background paper. I gotta trim off my label here. Okay, here's where you're going to use that other doodle paper with the it's a 3x5, and your doodles are going, we're going to put it on the page like this, so your doodles are going also vertical, but it's going to go onto your page this way. So here is where we want to start adding a little bit of color again. Let's locate these other pieces here. So this is a 4x5 navy. This is a 3x5 blue doodle paper, 4x5 navy, and we need a 4x5 red. 4x5 navy, 4x5 red. Just get them gathered up here. And then the stripe piece that we cut out in the beginning with the little punched out piece, okay? So here we have a 3x5 blue doodle paper with the stripes, or the doodles going up and down. We have a 4x5 dark blue, 4x5 red, and then this little striped piece that will be a pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of rain cloud to this blue piece. And then this 3x5 is going to glue onto your paper. It's about 1/2 inch over from the left side of the background page, 1/2 inch down from the top. So 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch, go ahead and glue that down. Chalk up the navy piece. I'm going to try some of this gray on that just to see what it looks like. It doesn't show up at all, so there's no point in even doing that, but if you had some navy or deep sea, that is a perfect color for this. I'm going to open up a navy here. I like this. And if you don't have any color that works for this, you know what? Dark blue is pretty freestanding. You won't really miss it. If you have like deep sea or navy, go ahead and give it a try. So what we're going to do with this piece, we're going to only...
Train price.
Sorry. Oh, we need a train price. See, we forget. We live with this every single day here. And Donna Hagwood, you are a train prize winner. Congratulations. We'll get that out to you. Good job. And this is 2 3/4 inch down from the top of your page. And keep in mind, this is a pocket. Let me see if I can get the sample out here. Okay, see this one, this top blue one glues down solid. This dark blue is a pocket. The red is a pocket. And the striped piece is a pocket. So keep that in mind as we go. Glue the left, right, and bottom and leave the top open because it is a pocket. So you're going to measure 2 3/4 inch down from the top of the blue doodle paper, and this will make a pocket, so 2 3/4 inch. Glue the left side, the right side, and the bottom. Leave the top open. So 2 3/4 inch down from the top. Of your doodle paper. So from the top of this little blue doodle paper, 2 3/4 inch. So you can add some color to the edges of your red paper. And this one also is a pocket, so you're just going to glue the left side, the right side, and the bottom. And it's 2 1/2 inches down from the top of the navy paper. So 2 1/2, about right here. So it's going to look about like this. So left side, bottom, and right. Add your adhesive. And then the only one that we have left, also a pocket, and this has some nice edges that are going to be fun to chalk up a little bit. I'm using the sunset on the edges of this. So this is one of the ones that we cut from earlier, so you already have that little hole punched out. And then this will go on it's about 2 3/4 inch down from the top of that, but it also is about 1/2 inch up from the bottom. So you could go back, use that for a measure. Okay, now you have all your pieces put on for your pockets, and then we're going to move on from there and make the little flip book. Can you take this out of that paper, that first one? But all these pieces here, you have lots of fun little tags and things that will tuck into these pockets. So once we get all done, we're going to save this till the end, so just know that you can add these little pieces. See, Jackie's got all kinds of cute little things tucked in. There's a little photo tucked in here, tags tucked in here with the little strings in them. So over here we have this piece that will go on the outside of the page protector. So underneath, right onto the background page, we have 3 photo mats. And then this piece we're going to work on next. It flips down over the outside of your page protector, and you have a photo mat, and then this middle one is also a cute little pocket. So let's work on that. And what you need is this big striped piece of paper. It's 12 inches by 5 3/4. And you do see the edges of just slightly. So if you want to take a minute here and go ahead and add some color to these edges before we get it glued down, this is a good time to do that. You don't see a lot of the edges, and I'll show you why. So here is your book. You don't see a lot in the background, just a little hint of stripes in the back, but she does have it chalked up just a little bit on the edges. So let's go ahead and do that before we glue anything down. And we're going to make a score line at the top of this, and this is what we will add our little pockets and mats to, that will go over the front of our page protector. Okay, so using your scoring tool, whatever that might be, you might have a score pal, scoreboard. I usually don't get it out. If I just need a quick little score line, I need to take this piece and score it in a 1/2 inch. I just used my bone folder and my trimmer. So score it at a 1/2 inch from the top, okay? Fold along that score line. Add your adhesive to the back side, which would be the map and compass side. Add your adhesive to that. Now right along that little 1/2 inch section. Okay, so I have adhesive on the back of this 1/2 inch section. So I'm going to lay this on so it's about somewhere in the neighborhood of about a 1/2 inch from the right hand side of the page. So make sure you have it straight here, and then this little flap will be up above. And if you've added your adhesive, fold it around to the back and adhere, okay? So now we can locate our mats and pieces that will go. We need 2 white mats that are 5.5 by 3.5. We need 3.5 by 5.5. Oh, that's not right. Let's just find all of our rectangle pieces here to begin with. There's lots of little pieces left because we have, again, we have photo mats 2 here, and then we have 3 on the inside. All of our little rectangles. So all of those photo mats are 3.25 by 5.25. You will also have a piece of red that's 3.5 by 5.5, and that's what will go here. Okay, I'm going to show you this one more time. That will go here in the background, and your pocket will glue to the front of that red piece. So let's lay these out to begin with. And here we have a 5.5 by 3.5 white mat, and this red mat will go right on top of it. It's 3.25 by 5.25. Up here we have a blue mat. And then the rest of the mats will go underneath. You have lots of white pieces, and it'll be a red, a doodle blue, and a dark blue. So let's go ahead and chalk up those edges a little bit on. You know something else that might be pretty? I'm going to try it. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. This is called mulled wine. It's kind of pretty on the edges, so you want to try something a little different. If you have the kit, then you can try this mulled wine. Just do it real lightly. I kind of like that color on there. It's different. So let's go ahead and chalk up these pieces. And remember, the bigger piece, the bigger red piece, is going to go here in the center, and that's where we will add I used a 1-inch hole punch here. So this little piece is 2.5 by 5.5, but you're going to punch out, and you may have already done that, punched out just a little half circle with your circle punch. and that will be a pocket. So let's, now that we have these all chalked up, let's add a little bit of adhesive and go ahead and glue them on to this very first one is the blue one. Once you get it glued together as a mat, it's going to glue onto your page about a ½ inch down from the top. Then let's go ahead and do the red one. And this is a 3 1/4 by 5 1/4 onto a 5 1/2 by 3 1/2 white. And that one goes really close to the bottom of this big striped flap. It's like 1/8 of an inch from the bottom of that. And go ahead and glue that down. Centered left to right, a little bit about 1/8 inch in between. And that lets you evenly space this red 3 1/2 by 5 1/2. And remember, it's the bigger piece. It's a little bigger than your mats. 3 1/2 by 5 1/2. Go ahead and glue that down. And then you have your pocket. If you wanted to add some rain cloud to the edges of that before you glue it. That rain cloud really is pretty on this light blue. I almost like it better than if I would have put a blue on it. It makes it really soft. Okay, and then remember this is a pocket, so left, right, and bottom. And then underneath you use up the remaining photo mats. Okay? So I gotta glue that on. So again, you'll use up this space for your remaining photo mats. Go ahead and put those together. And then again, you have all these fun little tags and that you're going to cut out, tuck in a photo, but there's several little tags that super cute. And this is a great way to add more pictures to your page. That's always a problem. Sometimes we have way more pictures than you have space on your page, but this lets you so right now it is right about 11:30, and I think we're pretty much done. So you'll have a couple more flowers. There may be one more beyond the ones that we put together in the beginning, but there's one that will go up here in the corner, and then you have another little spray of flowers that go across here, and the word inspire, it's 3 layers. You have your word in this and sandwich in between the red and the white, a couple of brads, and you're done. Did you have anything you want to tell them, Stace, before we sign off here?
I don't think so. We have a few things that we'll show when we get back on for our private reserve events that are coming up, and we will have a ½ an hour break. Don't forget the special. So some of those inks we were actually low on. If you want to add those to your cart, and check out today to get the discount.
So if you want to see what we have, oh my gosh, some of the fun things we've got put together for private reserve, they're gorgeous. So if you want to see what those are, be sure and tune in here in the beginning of the next class, which will start at noon, at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, and actually I have our new Club Q kits here. I'll show you while you guys are finishing up your kit there. We have fun new papers for Club Q. And if you don't know what Club Q is, it's our monthly kit club. If you are part of Club Q,
let us know in the comments. Let us know your favorite thing about Club Q. But this is our monthly kit club, and these are all new kits that will be shipping out.
Oh my gosh, these are super cute. This is
coming
brand new
on.
paper, not even printed yet. I think, am I right?
It just got delivered last night.
I got delivered last night. So you will be the first. Those of you who are in part of Club Q, you'll be the very first to get this. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. So cute.
So with Club Q, you always get 4 pages, plus you get an extra paper pack and some extras every month. It's $34 and free shipping. You get 10% off of everything else on our website. With Club Q, when you do sign up, you get an entire set free with your current shipment. You also get 3 free inks. Lots of benefits of being a Club Q member. Oh, we'll get a train prize here in a second. But these are the kits that you will actually get if you were to sign up today. These are all free and they will come with your shipment.
Oh my gosh, cute. As you can tell, Stacy and I don't work in the same, we don't even know what each other's doing. She has been busy. These are gorgeous.
So you can go to shopquickquotes.com, Club Q, and you can sign up there and you get tons of free stuff in your first shipment. If you have any questions, let us know. If you are a member, we want to say thank you. We love doing some extra special stuff for the Club Q members. Let us know in the comments if you are a Club Q member, or if you have any questions, we'll try to get them answered either now or on the next video. But it's just a super simple way to get all of our new stuff shipped to your door at a great price, free shipping. If you ever add anything else to your order from our website, it'll all come in your free shipment box. Yeah, any questions, let us know, but it's a really fun way to get all of our new stuff first.
Super cute.
And we're going to do a train prize before we end here.
Angela Creighton, you are a train prize winner. Congratulations.
Okay, so on your lunch break, check out Club Q, sign up, get free stuff. Check out the inks, you get a discount on those. And then we will be back at 12 o'clock.